Ruger P94 decocker in .40 caliber. Oh yeah, baby! Today we're going to look at one of Ruger's P-Series pistols, and these have been made since 1985 and are still under current production. But there are a lot of variants of this pistol. Now we're going to be talking today about the P94DC. This is their .40 caliber in stainless steel, and this gun is a handful, but it sure is a pleasure to shoot. One of the things that Ruger did when they started these was to make it a good, rugged, solid, dependable, quality pistol at a low price. And one of the reasons they were able to do that was the alloy castings that they use in the frame. And it has really been a very popular pistol for the past 25 years. The Ruger P94DC. According to the box, this is actually the KP944D. And what that really stands for is stainless P94 in .40 caliber decocker. Of course, the Ruger box. It's a really nice little box. Of course, instructions. And here is the P94DC. It does say P94DC on the slide, but this is the K model. And K, of course, is stainless. This has had the Hogue grip replacement, the Ruger plastic grips. Makes it really comfortable, especially with the finger grooves. It does come with two 10-round steel magazines with the little plastic butt pad, and also a loader as well. Of course, we want to make sure that the gun is unloaded. It is safe. Now, the Ruger P-Series semi-automatic pistol started in 1985 as far as the design, and it started with the P85. But that gun wasn't available until 1987. But this is the P94. And this, of course, is an evolution over the original P85s. There are a lot of different variations and a lot of different changes, but there are a lot of similarities. And what we're really going to talk about today is just the P94DC. I'm going to try to keep it to that. We will be spilling over into a general about the P-Series pistols, but I have some other P-Series pistols that I'm going to be doing some reviews on. So we're just going to look at the .40 caliber. This is in .40 caliber. They do make the P94DC in a 9mm. The 9mm holds 15 rounds in the magazine. The .40 caliber holds 10 in the magazine, so it's 10 plus 1. Now these guns are very rugged. They're very dependable, and they're typically very accurate. They are very particular because of the casting process that Ruger does on these pistols, and that keeps the cost low. You know, these pistols, even the SR9 right now, is a much lower pistol than a lot of the ones that you see on the market. Yet Ruger puts out really quality firearms. This is an investment casting frame. Some of the later models had the polymer, and actually not even a polymer. It was a reinforced polyester reinforced with fiberglass. But this is the aluminum alloy. It's a proprietary formula that Ruger uses, and it's a really strong process. It really does cut down on all the milling and machining work that needs to be done. So that's one of Ruger's legacies, and one of the reasons why these pistols have remained very inexpensive. The trade-off is, and as you can see, the frame is just beefier. It's heavier, and these do fire plus P rounds without any problem. Now, of course, this is a stainless slide. They do make it in the blued slide as well. So we're going to look at just some of the external features. One of the things, of course, you see the serrations here on the slide. And, of course, with the decocker as well, it gives you a lot to be able to grab and to pull. It does have ambidextrous decocker. Now, this is the decocker, and when you put it on a safe mode, it just goes, the hammer goes straight down. There's not really a safety on this per se as far as external. It's just the decocker, and it drops this down. Now, when you do decock the pistol, it actually moves the firing pin. It cants it, so it can't hit the round in the chamber. And there is a hammer block safety as well in here. So even though this is not actually a safety, there are safety features built into this pistol. And then you have the ambidextrous magazine release here and here, and you just push it forward to release the magazine, and the magazines fall out pretty freely. This is your slide stop. It's a pretty beefy slide stop. It does come out pretty far. The sights are a 3-dot sight fixed. They're dovetailed in. Here you have pins holding it in. It's a nice sight picture. And then while I was shooting, it really does point well, and it is on target. It is pretty top heavy. Right in here, it is thicker than a lot of your other gun. Now, of course, on the K series, the slide would be stainless steel. Also the barrel. All of your internal parts are stainless, regardless if it's a blued or a stainless model. In fact, if it's a blued model, it's just the slide, and then it's just the extractor. Otherwise, everything else is stainless steel, except for your aluminum cast receiver, of course, or frame. Now, the P94 actually is considered more of a mid-size pistol. This is a little smaller than the original P85s and some of the ones that came before this one. So it has a 4.2-inch barrel. It weighs 33 ounces. That's 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So it's not extremely heavy, but it is a full feeling pistol. I mean, when you put it in your hand, it is a handful, but it shoots very nice. It's a lot of fun to shoot. As far as the trigger on this pistol, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. The double action is a pretty long double action pull, and then you have a snap. On single action, it's still about a good 1/2 inch. So you're going to bring it in about a 1/2 inch. There's a little creep, and then it shoots. So it's a little bit of stacking going on. Bring it back, little stacking, and then pow. This still achieves really good accuracy, and really the trigger is not too bad on single action. I like it on single action. Double action, it is kind of long. Now I'm going to break this gun down for you because it is a little bit particular, more than some others. Bring it back, bring it to the full, your slide stop. Of course, make sure the gun is unloaded, no magazine. Now if you'll look right below the firing pin, there's a little lever that sticks out, and you're going to want to just push that whole mechanism down. Be careful not to hit your slide stop or you'll tear your finger up. But as you can see now, there's a whole little part that comes down into the magazine well. You have to do that before you can release your slide stop. Now on here, let me see if I can show you, there's a little line right here, a little mark. And then there's another mark here. And what you need to do, go ahead and release your slide stop. You're going to want to mate those two lines together, and then you push out the slide stop. Now the slide will just come straight off. You have your recoil spring. Now a couple of things that I'm going to talk about here. The Ruger P89, or actually the P85 all the way through, all your P-series pistols were based on the 1911 design, and that was with the barrel link and the tilt barrel. So this is very similar as far as in design from the 1911, but it is also taken from the SIG 220 series, and there is a lockup. So the lockup that occurs on the P85 or the P-series pistols is taken from the SIG 220, which of course obviously is a very strong action. The slide itself is typical Ruger, very nicely finished milling and machining on the slide itself. Here's a look at the frame, and as you can see, the rails, here are the rails, and here. This is where the slide rides, on those two. There's the part that you push down, and of course you can see all of your action here. A very nice lightweight frame. Okay, to repeat the process, go ahead and put your frame back over the rails, line up your two marks. Now what you're going to notice, don't forget, and of course that will automatically happen when you put a magazine in. It'll bring that piece right back into line. P94 was discontinued in 2004, but you can find a lot of these on the market today, and really the prices are very reasonable. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. P94DC, which stands for stainless steel, P94, and the other 4, good grief, what a mouthful. Excellent pistol. It is very bulky, and I don't want to say that.